Every week, I give my views, my thoughts, opinions, and perspectives on the big stories that shape our narratives through my lens. This is our first episode. And so we focus on Besigye's denial of bail that continues to be top of mind for all of us. And here is my view. This past Friday, April 11th, 2025, the Ugandan High Court handed down a ruling that has since stripped across the legal and political corridors of power in this country. Through her delegated authority, Deputy Registrar Salam Ngovi denied bail to opposition strongman Dr. Kizza Besigye and his aide Haj Obed Lutale, despite the duo having met all the standard bail requirements. The two are facing very serious charges of treason and treachery. They're accused of conspiring to overthrow the government of Uganda through a web of transnational meetings that were held in cities like Geneva, Athens, Nairobi, and Kampala between 2023 and 2024. Without any pinch of doubt, I need to mention that this comes at a time when Justice Rosette Comfort Kanya has just been appointed the Deputy Chairperson of the Judicial Service Commission. Note that down. We'll come back to this later. So let me break it down for you. What are the conditions of granting bail in Uganda? The person must not have any criminal record. 2, they must have a fixed place of abode. 3, they must have substantial sureties. And yes, advanced age also comes into play. Ordinarily, that would mean that Dr. Kizza Besigye and his aide would have been granted bail. But the court pointed to the grave nature of the charges, allegations of plotting to overthrow the government of Uganda. The judge argued that the transnational scope of these charges demanded extended investigations and that releasing these two could jeopardize the process. That may be the official reasoning, but is it truly justice or merely a slow calculated chokehold on liberty? Are we witnessing the impartial hand of the law at work or the heavy shadow of influence from the highest office in the land? President Yoweri Museveni, for instance, has constantly advocated for denial of bail to individuals accused of very serious offenses, including treason, murder, rape, and corruption. He argues that granting bail in some cases undermines justice and public safety. For example, in 2021, he said during one of his addresses that if, and I quote, "If the case is ready for trial, I think granting bail is really a big mistake." And this contradicts Article 23 of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda, which provides, by the way, for the right to apply for bail. It's very clear. So Dr. Kizza Besigye and Lutale have now spent about 147 days in detention since their arrest in Nairobi in November 16th, 2024. And yet, prosecution hasn't even any evidence presented. This is where the Ugandan legal system exposes one of its deepest and most dangerous loopholes. You see, the Ugandan law does not define constitutional maximum for how long someone can be held in detention before committal. So, while the Constitution guarantees a fair and speedy trial, in practice, suspects, especially those in political cases, can languish in pre-committal limbo for months, sometimes even years. This legal limbo has become a weapon, not just of justice, but of punishment without conviction. We've seen it before in Dr. Kizza Besigye's treason trial of 2025, the Kasese Royal Guards trial, even in civil rights detentions following the 2021 elections, where suspects spent time in jail while files got ready. So justice delayed has quietly become justice denied. Elias Lukwago, the lead counsel of Dr. Kizza Besigye, has criticized this ruling as pre-trial condemnation, arguing that even without a single piece of tested evidence in open court, the judge essentially ruled with suspicion and not proof. But maybe this is not just a Besigye story. It is a story about the legal system with gaps so wide that liberty can get lost in them. I think that it's about judiciary walking a tightrope between the state security and constitutional freedoms, and sometimes wobbling far to one side. As a country, we need judicial reforms. Reforms that define pre-committal timeframes, those that enforce the speedy trial, and reforms that reaffirm the constitutional presumption of innocence. Otherwise, our courts risk becoming holding cells for political convenience and not arbiters of justice. So what should we do next? I argue that Parliament must move fast to close this legal lacuna. If the courts cannot ensure balance in politically sensitive cases, then it's up to the lawmakers and the public oversight to step in. Because when detention becomes indefinite and the due process of the law becomes optional, we all lose, not just the accused. I'm Solomon Sserwanja, and this is Through My Lens.